Good morning, everybody. With you in just a minute here. Enjoying the old tea here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking, here in the digital media world. So glad to be hosting another episode of this great show called DYOR Live. Let me just do an audio check here to make sure we're doing it right. We seem to be doing it right. Got a lot going on today. Lot going on. Here are the main concept of the day. 85,000 coming soon or not? When I made the show early this morning, the price was all the way down near 88,000. The high 88's low or 89.1 or something like that, depending on the exchange you were looking for. Thought maybe 85 was incoming. Now, as you can see about the number above my head, 93,450, a bounce that was required. We got a swing low down here, a little change in structure. Market popped a little bit, which is good. Can't have every day of doom and gloom without people freaking out. And people were freaking out on crypto Twitter. People calling for 45,000. All sorts of weird stuff. Lots of good news, though, in the Bitcoin world. One aspect of that's always good news is when people announce more liquidity in the market. More liquidity, better trading, bigger orders can be put in, bigger players, all this type of stuff. Some of you I know don't think that's better. But anyway, the Chicago Board of Options Exchange, CBOE, has announced they are not getting in the futures game. No, they're getting in the perpetuals game with Bitcoin and Ethereum. So institutions will be immediately available to invest in perpetuals. As many of you know, institutions have a tough time creating accounts at Coinbase or even foreign exchanges that host perpetuals. So now it'll be completely legal in the US on a regulated exchange. Instant liquidity brought to the market. Other good news. I know many of you aren't going to think this is good news, but Japan is changing its crypto rules. Yeah, you remember after the Mt. Gox debacle many years ago, they cracked down on crypto. Said, "You evil crypto people can't be doing this and ruining our good name," and they put taxes on 55% on crypto. 55% capital gains tax. They're lowering that to 20, whether it's short-term or long-term, personal or corporate. And the concept is if it goes well, they'll lower it even further, putting pressure on other nations like the United States to lower their taxes more to compete. So otherwise, money moves. And if corporate money can be taxed at only 20% capital gains, it means corporations will move their taxes or move their gains over there and out of the United States. Bad. So it's good competition for taxes. And lastly, with the recent wipeout of the BTC price, it's like 2025 never existed. That's right. 1 year ago, where was the price? It was right here, 93,000. The whole year's gains, if you're a spot holder, just disappeared in the past few weeks, which is unbelievable because we're at our all-time highs at 126, 27, 28, something like that. Big deal, but no more. No more. Anyways, usually where I welcome my co-host, Mr. Pedro Garcia, in the house. He's doing that real world thing here today. Not sure if he's going to be with us, but I'll be here with you at least for an hour. I got a bunch of good topics to talk about, as usual. Got a lot of great sponsors that are sponsoring the show, pouring money on us, all this type of stuff. How many of you caught that joke? Oh, let's do a quick social media check-in here. Crypto Unicorn says, gonna be a cracker of a show today. I agree with you on that. Connect to Me One says, you mean like those wizards from Blue Sky? I'm gonna tell you, since I advertise this show around, I take to all the different social medias. And that Blue Sky, poor Jack, what's his name? Jack Dorsey? That started Blue Sky, developed this great technology to run this new social media platform. And just because it had the word blue in it, all the people that were a blue leaning in the US left X to go onto Blue Sky, completely unaware of the technology that runs it, which kind of allows you to own your own data, which is great. Pedro and I talk about that a lot. But now all the people from one party went over there and made it this big echo chamber, and they called me a crypto bro. That's right. I said, crypto bro. I told him, did you know? I want everyone here to realize this. Did you know that since 2020, with compounded inflation, the number is 30%. So if you had $1 million in your retirement fund, you're counting on that to last you a long time, and you were taking out just the bare minimum to get by, saving the principal. In purchasing power terms, you lost 30%. That your account is the equivalent of $700,000. That's right. So the people that called me crypto bro, you lose. You lose. Space Cat's in the house. Ladies and gentlemen, good day everyone. I tried to use Rumble, but it seems to be a problem with it. So here I am on YouTube. That's fine. That's fine, Space. The good thing about Rumble is if you download their app, you can listen to us and put it in your pocket without having to pay premium like you do with YouTube. That's why we like Rumble. People can listen to it at work without having to pay. Although we'd like you to pay with the little link down here to join Rumble Premium. We get credit for that. But thanks, Space Cat. Really enjoy it. As always, share it with your friends. Get more people to come in. Got about 14 people watching us on the various different platforms here. I'm going to spend 1 minute or two here doing a little outreach. I don't know if you can see over here the head of Saudi Arabia, otherwise known as MBS, Mohammed bin Salman, is visiting the U.S. to try to get the U.S. to help out in Sudan. We said we did such a great job solving the Gaza crisis that we need to do that in the Sudan also. The problem with the Sudan is that Russia's there and China's there, and they want that to be a mess because it creates instability in all the countries around it. And if Russia and China are there, then it's a triple hard problem. Thankfully, neither Russia or China were in Gaza. Let's get the welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Please like, share, comment, follow, chat, subscribe. Just do it. Oh, I spelled subscribe wrong. Tom, you idiot. Welcome to everyone watching us on X. Thank you very much. Yes, I'm talking a lot right now without giving a lot of giving a lot of info right now because I thought Pedro was going to be with me here at the beginning. So my script. Believe the shine on Bitcoin could be dimming. It may be time for great projects that have connections to real-world assets to take their place. I get bad news for you there, Space Cat. They're all going to take place through Bitcoin. Now, that's not to say other projects won't exist. They'll ultimately settle through Bitcoin. And the reason is because that in all of these real world asset projects, the legal aspect of what wraps their real world asset is still a problem. And frankly, we always want it to be a problem. Because as soon as it's easy to buy real estate just on your phone, like boop, 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 bought the real estate, or you have an AI bot buy a condo for you or something like that. BlackRock and Prudential and all the big companies with all the cash and all the big pension funds of the world will buy all the real estate that's available like that. And you don't want big corporations owning all the real estate. But anyway, that was a side note. But ultimately, somebody has to pick a settlement layer. And ultimately, the settlement layer will be Bitcoin for all of these things. Doesn't mean you pay in Bitcoin. It's like Michael Saylor, how he described it. He said Bitcoin will be like, back in the day, gold was the settlement layer, which couldn't carry around gold. So people carried around notes saying, I own this much gold. Gold certificates, which became the US dollar back in the gold days. And that Bitcoin's very similar to gold in that while you can carry it around because it's on your phone, people don't want to carry around all their Bitcoin. It's also not good for quick and many transactions. The way the UTXO system is designed is really good. It's not meant for quick, small payments. It's small meaning under $100 million. DeFi dude, Mr. Striking cleans up well. Why, yes. I've even got my American and Kanukistani pin on here. People ask me if I'm a politician. They're like, oh, because the government seat is right here, parliament's right here. They're like, oh, are you an MP? And I'm like, no, I'm the +1 at this event I had today with Mrs. Striking. Oh, look, let's see, MBS arrives in a armored Mercedes, the S-Guard. My old business is doing these armored vehicles here. I'm always interested. That's the factory, Mercedes-Benz. I'm sure the embassy in Washington uses. Anyway, so I was saying the way Michael Saylor explains why he's creating a treasury, and so that he has a Bitcoin-oriented company that his company operates on Bitcoin, and then creates the equities and debt instruments above it that trade between all of us and ultimately settle down to Bitcoin and that type of stuff. And that's how real world assets will eventually do it, because people are going to need something they trust. The trusting in the individual projects is like trusting in individual investment funds that invest, like here in the US we call them REITs, real estate investment trust. And the REITs invest in things, and some of the REITs are big, well-known things that traded publicly or not, but they're part of big companies and they're well run. And there's lots of them run by scammers, very much like the crypto market. But anyway, they need for risk managers to really sign off on things, meaning people that in real world assets, that's going to be the insurance industry. The insurance industry has to have a currency or a settlement layer they can trust, and or escrow or get their hands on or something like that. Because if you can't insure something, the market is very limited. Can't insure something, then credit won't work, and the credit layers will be above the settlement layers. Once I figured that out, I was like, it's like, I have an old video about BRICS and why BRICS would never work, even no matter how many of these Russian bot and troll accounts push it. BRICS can't work until there are people there to insure transactions on it. A classic example is going to buy an oil tanker full of oil. These big giant bulk carriers, got a couple $100 million in oil in it. You have to insure it for the value of the oil, but you have to insure it for the cleanup if the thing runs aground and ruins a whole country's coastline, which falls on very few syndicates of money around the world. And they insist that it's done in dollars, and that's why they'll insure it. If it's in some currency, they don't really have control over the value of it. It could devalue by 100% in the time period that the ship is on the water. Nothing. It's a very complex topic. We could do weeks of shows on this, and it's something I didn't get till Pedro and I started talking about it pretty much every day. All right, I've been going on long enough. I have ripped through. I have a whole script here. Script machine has times on it. Guests can see the times. Like, we're going to do this segment of the show, but because Pedro wasn't here, trashed. I'm going to just play catch up with it. Let's see, what time is it? 12:18. This is the news and politics section of the show. And I'm dressed like the old politician. Oh, hell. Let's see if the great comment machine is working properly here. You know what? I'm going to take this opportunity to do what I do best. And you know what that is? Read ads. Because you got to make the monies. Let's see, what's a good one here? I missed the sports, missed the football ones. Oh, we're gonna make the big monies with this one. I know you guys are waiting for us. You're all the way over there in Spain, DeFi, and you're like, I can't wait for Tom to read an ad to us. I get so much fun out of it. I feel like Jack Benny or Ed Sullivan. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I may be looking a little smarter today. Let me straighten my pen. But are you looking for a smarter way to browse and enjoy your favorite content without ads? Get the Perplexity Pro bundle with Rumble Premium for just $19.99 a month when you sign up before December 31st. Normally, it's a $29.99 value, saving $10 a month. With Rumble Premium, you'll get an ad-free viewing experience across all your devices and access to exclusive premium content, no interruptions, just the videos and streams you love anytime, anywhere. Plus, Perplexity Pro boosts your productivity with unlimited research, unlimited uploads, exclusive member perks, and access to the latest and most advanced AI models for faster, smarter answers every day. Save over 30% on this powerful bundle. Head to rumble.com/premium before December 31st to sign up and unlock your premium experience. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a QR code right over here on this side of the screen. If you're looking at my picture on the big screen TV, hold your cell phone up there, pop that QR code, put your eyeballs on our advertisers. It really makes a difference for Pedro and I, helps us out in the Rumble ecosphere. We don't make a lot of money from it, but it helps with us with our algorithm building, which is the most important thing. If you're watching on your smartphone or tablet, there's a link in the chat. And if you're watching on the replay, thank you very much for watching this far into the show. And there is a link in the description down there to rumble.com/premium. Remember, sign up before December 31st to save $10 a month, getting Perplexity Pro and Rumble Premium at the same time. Thank you to Rumble and Perplexity Pro productivity. Alliteration at its best. For sponsoring this segment of DYOR Live. All right, let's get into the serious stuff now. Bitcoin. Oh, Bitcoin. Where are you going, Bitcoin? Bitcoin here, 85,000. Coming soon. What's next? What's next? You know what? Frankly, I like this one. The moving thumbnails. Now with Grok and all this stuff, you can make these moving thumbnails. And got this girl carrying the $85,000 sign coming down the road. Isn't that fantastic? Let's go to the charts, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to the charts. All right, here we are. This, as many of you know that have been sitting around with me for the past couple of months, know that I've been doing the monthly outlook on Bitcoin and stuff like that. I just turned myself off. That was nice. Nice, Tom. Instead of turning Pedro's box above me off. You know what, let me put him up here just to see if he shows up. I guess I didn't come back. Oh, nope, not yet. There I am. This is November. It's November 2025, not last November, because that would be reversed. It was going up last November. First week of November down. Second week of November up a little bit, then finished down. Third week of November, which we are now, plummeting into doom territory. Fourth week in November. This is the plan right here, ladies and gentlemen. This is the plan. Can we get there? Can we get there? And the reason that I say yes, is because all the rest of this plan has been going right. It's been going right. We've been sweeping liquidity. We swept the liquidity at the beginning of the month. Didn't really get a big push. We swept the liquidity further. Now people are saying, oh, it's the bear market. It's the bear market. Oh, it's just going to go down to 40,000 and we come back in 4 years. It's different this time around. Everyone that says it's the same 4-year cycle as the last 4 or 3.5 cycles or whatever, it's my opinion that they're completely wrong. This is a different era. The whole industry has grown up in the past 4 years. The value has quadrupled or something crazy, some massive amount in market cap. The number of companies, the ecosphere around crypto, the number of public companies, the number of employees, the number of payroll linked to this entire industry is massive. It's not going to move the same. Only problem is really the true lack of liquidity compared to other markets like the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ. Those markets make the liquidity in Bitcoin look like the little chump change on the side of the road that you dropped after getting your Tim's coffee. Speaking of. However, it's big enough money where everyone reports on it and people like me wear a suit to talk about it online. I know, strange, huh? So the liquidity isn't completely there yet. This allows true projects to survive and show that they can weather the storm. That's true. That's very true, Space Cat. Hey, wait, where is the... All right, why isn't stuff posting on YouTube? All right, my posts aren't seemingly not posting to YouTube. Here, 1 second here, I'll get back on it. Generally, when I break my train of thought, it ruins the whole thing. The whole thing. Let's try this again here. All right, now I got it to work. I'll change that. Boom. All right. Welcome, everyone. Please like, share, comment, follow, chat, subscribe. Just do it. Anyway, we're talking about the Bitcoin thing here. There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to talk about. As we know, there's people all over the internet calling for this, calling for that. I'm not a caller guy. That's not what I do. I'm a learning guy. I'm learning to day trade. Learning to day trade. Started off in the financial futures and commodities markets back in the old World Trade Center before it got blown up. Before it got blown up the first time. 9/11 was the second time it got blown up. I don't know if you guys knew that, but that's the truth. It got blown up in 1993 also. But anyway, was out of the market for a long time, got back into it, listened to Pedro for 2 years in my ear talking about it, and say, wait, why am I not trading? Pedro's sitting there making money. I'm not. I'm like, let's do this. Let's do this. And so I took it upon myself almost a year ago. I said, all right, let's get back into the learning mode. And so I said to Pedro, it's time for me to start learning. And over the past year, I've traded a little bit here and there. I did a lot of demo account trading, months and months of demo account trading, doing demo account trading now. Not trading any real money right now because I was lacking some knowledge. I'd done very well at coming up with a few good setups, namely only 2 in the short-term markets. In the 1 minute market, you hear me talking about the Sam Price special, which I took from his tutelage in starting at the 1 minute chart when price action comes above it and trading it. I'll talk about that at length some other time. And then that translates next to the 5 minute, 15 minute chart, 1 hour chart, blah, blah, blah. But what I wasn't any good at was looking at long-term markets and figuring out. And it wasn't until Mr. Pedro Garcia drilled it into my head. Why is this spinning? About how to really read candles and why they're there. And another guy named Master Friend, who I listened to intently, taught me about how candles are time-based and your trades need to be time-based. Stop worrying about the price. Worry about the movement of the candle. Doesn't matter what the price is. And all of a sudden, so many of you were watching it during this time, all of a sudden I was like, of course. And it just brought back the days of the trading floors long ago, and I was like, of course. Nobody gave a shit about the actual price. They gave a shit about the movement and what was going on in the time period, because certain things have to happen every time period. Open, high, low, close, open, low, high, close, all these types of things. And that's what leads me to the monthly discussion here. Certain things have to happen during the month, right? And the larger the time frame we talk about this, on the 1 minute chart, 5 minute, 10 minute, you can have candles that look funny. And there's lots of them. There's a larger percentage of candles that don't have wicks, these wicks, on the 1 minute and 5 minute charts, because things can just keep going up. They can close and keep going up and then close and keep going up or down, whatever. On larger time frames, that's very difficult. You take all of the candles for Bitcoin, line them up next to each other. 95% of them have a demand wick, a body, a decent body on it. Not a fully engulfing or whatever you want to call it. And a supply wick. And so you can almost guarantee that it has to do that. I know there's no guarantee in crypto. I get that. I get it. And so in the monthly outlook, we look at it. We've been lucky. Both August, we did well predicting the month. Not so much in September because of personal issues. I was out. In October, we did fairly well. Got 4 of the 5 weeks correct. And in November, we've got 3 of the 4 weeks correct so far. And that's simply from looking at the candle. What does the candle have to do? It has to have a demand wick, a body, and a supply wick. All these candles in this month do. These are the daily candles. Anything over that almost guaranteed has to have one, but a few percentage don't. So when the number go down here at the beginning of the month, the candle is now drawing it down. Now we've reached the bottom of the candle here. There's a wick here. Look on the daily chart. There's a wick here. If I were to switch this to the monthly chart, you would see open, down, retracement. So there'd be a big demand wick down there. Now it's got to form the supply wick. Can it do that in this month? Not sure. It's a big move up in the last week. Big move up. I mean, there's people calling for 220 by the end of the month. I mean, come on, man. Or at least by the end of the year. Whatever. That's a little bit much. But is it possible that this number right here, the monthly open, this price right here, 109, is it possible that we get to 109? Of course it is. We went from 109 to here, but it's possible we can go up to there as well. Now, I'm not looking for a complete move on that, but what I am looking for is a move upward here in this last week. Because there's a lot of people that sold off at the beginning of the week, a lot of people that held on their short positions. I'm sure Pedro could be on here right now talking about the short positions on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange and how many there are, what that encompasses and that type of stuff. And eventually, at the end of the month, those contracts need to roll over into the next time period. End of the week, end of the month, all these time frames. People close up their contracts and roll into new one. Because remember, Chicago Mercantile Exchange and the other big exchanges are contract-based, monthly-based contracts, not perpetuals where you just buy them and do whatever you want. So thus, the adage is that Pedro's drilled into my head. If it's going to go down in the beginning of the time period, you're going to go up at the end of the time period. Doesn't mean you're going to go higher than where you open, but you might. And very rarely do you not trade below and above during the time period open in any time period, especially the longer time frames. The longer time frames, because they're longer, there's more trading going on. You trade below and above this. And once I learned this from Pedro, Master Friend, and Crypto Lifer and stuff, it made so much more sense. And so now I'm back playing in the demo market, trying to put this kind of learning into it. And it's working okay. I'm not really trading regularly on it. I'm more just paying attention to trying to predict where the candles are how the candles are gonna form. Big change for me. So with my, is it going to 85,000 here? How would I hit the button? All right, that's not working. Are we going to 85,000? I don't think so. Personally, if this candle here and the daily candle, if we can form a swing low down here on the 4-hour chart, I believe it has formed a swing low. Obviously, those have been broken plenty of times. But I believe that that little wick down to 88,000 was it for now. Pedro's of a little different opinion. He's ready for it to go down even further. I had Bookmap open earlier, and there were red lines. Can't have it open now, otherwise my computer just. There was liquidity down there at 80, 87, and 85, but there was also liquidity at 101 and 107, a little bit further away. So it's very possible we can do another dip down to the bottom of this candle here today, grab the liquidity, the last of the liquidity that's there, and then be ready for next week's run up. That's my goal. That's my goal, trying to figure this out. And hopefully it comes to fruition. We'll talk more about the smaller part of Bitcoin, trading it during the day here. After the break here, but since I'm not on Pedro time, look at that. That one didn't forward. End action, play next event. All right, sorry, I got the clock screwed up here. As always, if you've got any questions, want to talk about this, let me know. Obviously, I'm here by myself. I need someone to talk to. I'm doing pretty well talking to myself today. But always need help from the crew out there. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, you are watching DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. My name is Striking, otherwise known as Tom in the real world. It's the bottom of the hour. It's 12:35 Eastern Time here in the Kanukistani great states of North America. The markets are not moving much here today. Apple, Tesla, and Netflix all basically unchanged. The Dow is down 500, almost 600 points. Nasdaq down 300. S&P 500 down 600. Not a lot under. It's about 1% for each. With the volatility of late, that's not really much. Back in the day, that would have been like people been jumping off buildings. Would have been crazy. I remember in October of '89, I was working the floor of the New York Futures Exchange, and the market dumped 189 points. Oh my God, people were flipping out. The whole market was down 189 points. Massive. I think it was, I don't know, whatever. Oh, that's a trick. I can't wait to figure out where that came from. Let's turn that off there.
Apple Watch measures your bedtime consistency.
Apple Watch.
And sleep duration. Then, every morning it combines.
Hold on, let me fix this, everybody. Well, that was a pain in the ass. That was a pain in the ass. Had no idea which tab that was open. I'm sure many of you have done that before. You're sitting there, yes, honey, I'm working late here in the home office. And then the football game comes on, whether it's American football or European football, Premier football. And all of a sudden it comes on the speaker instead of your headphones. Foiled. Foiled, ladies and gentlemen. Let's shout out to everyone watching on the different platforms. Let's get a figure out who is here. Oop, it's not working. Well, this just isn't working at all. I have a feeling this logged me out. It sure did. All right, we got 13 people on Rumble. Only one of you watching on X right now. Come on, X people. Anyway, thanks everybody watching on all the different platforms. Once again, we're broadcasting on Rumble, YouTube, X, Twitch. You can find us anywhere you want. Remember to share it. Share it with your friends and family. With your mom, your dad, kids, grandkids, grandparents, dog, cat, babysitter, you name it. We'll take the engagement. We will take the engagement. Let's see here. Let me see if I got any notes from Pedro. Nope, no notes from Pedro. Anyway, Bitcoin. Where is it going to go? Like I said, I think it's going to turn around and head back up. I don't think it's heading to 85 or 80. Like I said, Pedro is of a different mind than I am. But he's looking at a lot of different things in the market. I'm just looking at the basics of what I've learned. And when you're learning, you keep things simple. You keep things simple like that. But I would, if you're out there, drop a comment. Keep me entertained here. Crypto Unicorn says, we are here. We are here. Who's we? Hope you let all your friends know. I forget that we also broadcast on Facebook. I was checking with that. Apparently someone's watching us on Facebook. Let me say hi to them. Hey everyone. Hey on Facebook. Strangely enough, after years of broadcasting on YouTube, literally this is my 5th year, they have derated our stream on YouTube. We talk about crypto, and they've passed a new algorithm change, meaning they're derating anything having to do with gambling. They treat predictive markets as gambling. And we talk about poly market all the time, derating words. And we talk about China all the time. Those are also derating words. You talk about China, you don't get views on YouTube. And I know this because you talk about the same thing on other platforms, Rumble, X, all that type of stuff, and your ratings go up. So YouTube sucks, which that'll probably be a derating event also. Anyway, welcome to the second half hour of our great show here. Got the President of the United States talking to the de facto leader of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman. He's in charge of the whole thing. He's kind of the first guy that's really consolidated power outside of the Sudari family in Saudi that ran the country essentially since it was formed. The Sudari 7 used to do a lot of business with that country back in the armored vehicle days. They had a lot of problems. Anyway, before we get back into Bitcoin, let's talk about some of the news things that I had warehoused here. This one, ZEC. You know what that stands for, everybody? That's right. Zcash. Zcash, the darling of everything lately. Zcash. Let's bring up Zcash on the chart here. Let's bring up their futures market on Binance. Zcash trading back up to 606. Oh, it has weathered the storm over the past few days. Only losing about 3%. Let's see, 723, so 72 would be 10%. That would be down to, oh, no, I'm sorry. I was getting that wrong. It's lost 10% at least. Anyway, the movement on Zcash has been amazing. I don't know how many of you out there have fallen into the Zcash lotto winnings. I did not, just because I'm not really trading anything at all while I'm doing the learnings. And Zcash escaped me. Other people were mentioning it when it was really low. And Pedro and I, it was off our radar. Let's look at the weekly chart here. Yeah, look at this. This has been traded on Binance Futures on perpetuals now for since May of 2019. Seriously? And it went from, it went all the way up to 350. See, this has not been on my radar at all. And I only just learned that Zcash was the same guy as Starknet, which was a total disaster. See this Zcash chart? Starknet was the opposite. we can draw the Starknet chart here just by doing this. That was Starknet chart. Starknet had a lot of VCs, that's why. When you have a lot of VCs, they want their monies, and they sell. As soon as their tokens unlock. Bad news. Anyway, Zcash getting the love here in the down market. But Zcash's parabolic rise under scrutiny after Wynn's market alert. Maybe you're like, who's Wynn? Wynn is the guy that keeps talking about how much billions of dollars that he bets on Bitcoin and gets liquidated. Zcash has captured market attention following parabolic price surges, drawing both investor excitement and caution. The cryptocurrency climbed more than 28% in the past 2 weeks, reversing earlier declines and prompting analysts to review its trajectory. James Wynn, a noted market strategist, that's an understatement or overstatement, issued warnings to traders about potential overextension and heightened volatility, highlighting the rapid gains often precede pullbacks. Market liquidity is being monitored along with trading volume. Yeah, man, this sounds like an AI written thing here. Anyway, the risks to the Zcash rally. Big gains mean people are going to sell, which is the no shit award of the week. Traders are assessing their exposure with risk management strategy style. Oh, okay, that's not the paragraph I wanted. The technical indicators, are showing that RSI levels are entering the overbought territory, which usually signals the slowdown. Let's see if that's correct or not. Yes, you can see on the weekly chart, it's definitely overbought on the RSI here. Let's look down a couple of charts and see where that eases up. Let's look at the daily. The daily, it's been overbought for weeks. Usually when you tell someone it's overbought, they're like, well, sell, it's going to move anytime now. It has come across, the beginning of October, it was really badly overbought, and the beginning of November, let's see, let's look at the hourly chart here. Hourly chart has come way off the RSI. In fact, it has since Saturday the 15th, the RSI has been declining, and now it's actually pumping a little bit. So, on the hourly level, let's look at the hourly chart on Zcash. I don't know enough about. All I know here is that the 20 period is crossing back over the 200. Usually not a good sign. But it's done that. Did it here, right here. Hasn't done it for quite a while before that. But in either case, did it really go much lower? Well, I guess 750 to 500 is pretty low, but wasn't a massive sell-off into panic sellers. Just looked like an orderly spin out. Anyway, Zcash pumping today. It's the hour chart. Zcash is started the day at 547, and now we're at 619. The great graphics machine over here says the 24-hour high is 680, and 24-hour low 557. Oh, I don't even have that on the screen. You idiot. Is it coming up? Great graphics machine. Where? There you are, right there. The great graphics machine, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, one of the articles I have here, it says Zcash going to $100,000. How about that? 100x from 100x after 100x. $100x after. Why does this keep spinning? $100x after 100x. Last time I was involved with something that did that. That was the old DYOR token. Didn't make any money. Nope. All right, what's the other news we have here? Nope, not that one. That was an event. BlackRock spending more money, but this time on the BNB chain, as Binance accepts BlackRock's token BUIDL. The BlackRock USD Institutional Digital Liquidity Fund, BUIDL, is extending onto BNB chain as the world's largest asset manager and the world's largest crypto exchange partner. Binance starts trading BlackRock's products. How about that? Every time an exchange allows one of these massive companies to have its product traded on them, it's essentially a bridge between traditional finance and blockchain world. Because when a company owns the liquidity pool on both sides, then they can do the accounting to make it work. Which is good. It's good news. More, as always, more liquidity, the better. More liquidity, the better. And frankly, innovation in finance is a good thing too. Let's see. I went over this one yesterday. Secretary Bessent projects $3 trillion stablecoin market by 2030. Had another discussion with someone about that today, actually just this morning, in how where they lived, which for a while was not the United States, but in another country, people were already trading stablecoins. And stores were accepting them outside of the legal way of doing things. One of the things that's going on in Europe and in Britain is a lot of people have left Africa and, just moved there. And for whatever reason, I'm not getting into the politics of that. But what they brought with them is the concept of paying for things digitally, not related to dollars, pounds, or euros. All throughout Africa, especially in Kenya and stuff, but in a lot of other places, the de facto currency is your cell phone credits. And I forget the name of it in Kenya. But you can go in and you can load up your cell phone account with we'll just use dollars, $100 worth of credits. And then you go to the convenience store and buy a Gatorade, and it's like 6 credits. And just boop. And it takes it out of your, and the cell phone provider became the exchange unintentionally long ago, but intentionally after they realized they got something going, and they said, all right, well, now all the stores and people take it. You just beep, beep, beep. And you can take money out of your cell phone credit plan. You can pay for your groceries. You can do whatever. It's its own market. They brought that mentality to other countries with them. And so a lot of stores, which are run by immigrants, say, we'll take, other forms of payment that are easy to tap and all that kind of stuff, and easy to pay each other with. And they're doing that in stores. And this guy I was talking to said, yeah, he said you go to some stores, and they have a little sign near the cash register that says we accept Tether, USDC, whatever stablecoin. And they have a QR code. You just beep, and you send that amount right away. Bing. And he said people are using it because people are using it for remittance to send back home. So they have a wallet in which they earn money and they put it in. And I mentioned this earlier, and I talk about this with regulators and how they're missing the ball, relying on being reported by central authorities to people to stop terrorism and all this stuff by farming our transaction data. But the families just share one wallet. Like the son or whomever is over in the UK earning money, deposits his paycheck, whether he's a legal immigrant or not, puts it right in his crypto wallet. He doesn't have to send the money or do anything to send money anywhere. Yet his mom can just walk to the store and beep, pay for something in USDT wherever she is. And that's growing like crazy. So there's no sending money around. There's no fees of sending money to anybody. Families just share that payment wallet. The son's working, he puts the money in. Mom's spending it for groceries at home. And it works great. But they're bringing that technology, and it's just leading to this, that the stablecoin market is going to be much larger than anyone ever thought. Really, ever thought. Let's see, where is that other article? This the article? No, that's just a dumb article. Oh yes, the Japanese article. I thought I had that story up here. Oh yeah, this is before we get to the top of the hour here. This is what I wanted to bring up again. I always like to bring up one story each time we do a news cycle of the law catching up with you. And one of the reasons why I sit up here all the time and tell people, do things legally with crypto. Pay your taxes, participate correctly in whatever jurisdiction you're in. Here in Canada, the rules are different than the US, than the UK, and all that type of stuff. And, but if you've done something nefarious, they're gonna find you. As big data and AI comb through the blockchains, they just piece things together, and then eventually they figure you out. And that's what happened with this guy, UK man who hacked a while ago. Elon Musk, Barack Obama, and a bunch of other celebrities' accounts got hacked. And he basically posted fake scam coin things there, and people FOMO'd in. Oh my God, Barack Obama has a coin, and he's posting about it. No one ever thought. I mean, when Trump did it, people are like, oh yeah, Trump's doing that. But when all these other people did, they just got scammed. Anyway, he finally got outed because he bribed a guy at a cell phone carrier to do SIM swaps on everybody. And he bribed him with crypto. And eventually that crypto got unmasked and they found him. Now he's going to the joint. He's going to the joint, ordered to repay everything, of which he doesn't have all the money. He does not have it all. Nope. He doesn't. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take, since it's just me, I'm going to take a quick commercial break and bio break, as they say. When we come back, we're going to talk about Meta, strategy, and Aster. I've just hit Zcash here. We're not going to talk about that. And then we'll also finish off the day also talking about Bitcoin again. So if you want to learn about TradeWave and our trades over there, what's going on with that, of those that involves Meta, strategy, Aster, BNB. BNB still hanging in there. I thought we got stopped out, but we did not. And so far. So I will be right back after this commercial break. So stick around. Stick around. There we go. That's right, everybody. DYOR Live every day, 12 p.m. Eastern Time, UTC -5 currently. Welcome back to DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. My name is Striking, otherwise known as Tom, here in the digital media world. So glad to be hosting this show once again. Welcome to the third half hour of our show here. This will be the last half hour of the show today. Don't have my co-host Pedro Garcia in the house today. So we are looking for you guys to step up and help with the conversation here. So welcome to everyone joining us on Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble, which is still going on here. You ex-viewers. You ex-viewers. I said stick around, everyone. You ex-viewers did not. Thanks. Thank you very much, ex-viewers. Anyway, notice the great graphic machine over here hasn't looked like this in a few days here. Bitcoin up. Bitcoin's up. And that's a 24-hour pricing arrow there. So that means it's the past 24 hours, Bitcoin has gone higher than it was 24 hours ago. Ethereum is moving up. XRP, unfortunately, moving up. BNB coming back up. Solana is coming back up. Tron down. Tron's been working the opposite. I don't know why Tron's been working the opposite. Cardano, just read a scathing article about guys trying to use Cardano for certain things and just not working out. Anyway, gonna do the Dave Letterman here today. Wait, no, he does this. Move his tie around. I know, so excited, right? Oh, what else is Hyperliquid's even up. Bitcoin Cash back in above 500. Zcash 618. That's Zcash moving opposite of everybody else. I got to get these stable coins off the list there of the top cryptos. But it's good news to see some green. Hold on. Let me bring up the chart behind me here instead of this article. E, T, and the C. US. You know, I have this on my trading view shortcut over here, and I don't know why I don't use it. Anyways, you can see over on, interestingly enough, both charts are exactly the same here. There's my man Scott Bessent right here. Right there. No. There. Calling for $3 trillion in stablecoin money. Anyway, you can see Bitcoin climbing up out of the doldrums over here. Could it just be a lower high? Could it be? Of course it could be. Of course it could be. There, got the show back on track. Might as well go over to that chart and talk about it right now here. So we talked about the monthly chart at length here, ad nauseum. Are you gonna switch, Mr. Computer? Switch. There we go. So my chart here is divided into the days of the week. Our weekly open is this line right here. Weekly open on Monday, 94. That was at midnight yesterday. Actually, I probably have it at Sunday at 8 p.m. Although I like to do the Monday at midnight, not the Sunday candle one. But anyway, as you can see, we all knew that yesterday, El Dropamundo dropped way down here. And calling it, I was calling it coming back up a little sooner than that. Right where this dip is here, that one. I thought it was going to then do a 786 retracement and then go up. I was wrong. I didn't have any money on it, so it didn't matter. But it did come down here today, formed a swing low on just about every time period you can think of, especially the longer time periods, which is good, and started its way back up. But does that mean it's on its way back to recovery? No, of course not. It could stop moving up right here and form It could do this, and then hit that 85,000 Pedro was talking about. It could do that. I mean, could do that very easily. As you can see, the whole month here. I'm sorry, not the whole month. Well, yeah, November. Yeah, right. The November open. This line up here. We've been trading below the November open basically since the beginning of the month. We went above it just slightly, create just a tiny supply wick. They've been trading down since then. To me, that means before the end of November, it's going to trade above this price. That's a lot now. It's a lot to ask. It's a heavy lift getting it all the way back above 109. Not impossible, though. I mean, it could make for a great week. In fact, I drew these. No, not that one. When I just moved these lines from the previous week, and because the previous weeks and it started up here, got to drag them around. They get out of position, but I positioned them intentionally so that the line could grow below them and move on up over the week. How's that for optimism? I labeled my chart based on the optimism of that happening. Who knows? We'll see. But what I would like to see this week, frankly, I would like to see a little bit of this consolidation going on here this week. Just basically the nothing burger the rest of the week. We swept the liquidity. I want to see people look at their order books and put in liquidity in this level at Bookmap, this level, and this level, and then next week just rocket through all that all that money. That's what I want to see. That would make me happy. That would make me happy because I would be long in that position. It would make me happy because my analysis was good. It was valid. Not right. Doesn't mean I wouldn't say my analysis is ever right, but it was validated. At least I got the direction of the market going. So that's what old Tommy Boy's looking for the rest of this week and next week. So if this happens, this consolidation before the big move, great. I mean, if it just rockets up this week, fine. I'll go with that too. But then we still have to deal with next week. But like I said, in Bookmap, there's still some liquidity down in these ranges down here. So it's likely that at some point it would grab that before heading up. We shall see. Okay, Meta. Meta. Which one should we do? Just the Python one here, I guess. Meta Platforms. Pedro is a buyer of Meta. Let's get the great graphics machine or the TradeWave. Now we can plug our own products. TradeWave up. Let's go up to the tab here. It says Trades. I know this is not released yet to the public, but it will be soon. And let's find the Meta trade on here. All right, Pedro is got an order in here on the TradeWave app. I don't have it up on the screen. There it is over here. This app tracks Pedro and I's calls. Not calls, but just the things where we're interested in, where we would buy something. And Pedro came out and said he put an order into the app, which for those of you, when you start using it, you'll be able to see either mine or Pedro's or whatever other partner, channel partner we want to add on there. Maybe there's someone that's real good at meme coins and Pedro and I are terrible at meme coins. And then they would handle those types of things, that type of stuff. Could be all sorts of people on this. But Meta, Pedro says 580 is the buy for him. Liquidity level, generally what Pedro says is when the price is coming down, he will buy it at that price if demand wicks are there. If they are not there, he thinks it's going to go to the next level because that's what his experience is doing it. And you can see here with Meta, Meta's price has been coming down. Meta's the app over here is not drawing the right Meta. I think it's drawing a crypto Meta for the graphics, but it's drawing the right price. Meta's trading at 597. It's coming down into Pedro's range here. Let's get a better look at the chart instead of being behind me. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, if you're out there with questions, please let me know. Got 13 of you watching. Really appreciate it. Hope one of you is Pedro while you're getting your real world life stuff. Mining, fiat mining, as Chuck Jansen calls it. Anyway, let's head over to the chart here. Nope, that's not what I wanted. I'm still not good with trading view charts. All right, what's going on with Meta? This is the hourly chart. Let's go look at the weekly chart. First, let's pretend I am Pedro Garcia, the crypto chart analyst. This chart has not been up on this. Is this the right Meta? Hold on, let me look at Meta here. Wait, I think it is. I gotta make sure there's not like a Class A or Class B or something like that. Yeah, 597. Got to get this 24-hour volume right. It's only pulling the one exchange where I just happen to pull the data from, the data endpoint from, not pulling the whole market. It says $1.2 million in Facebook traded. Sure, it's more than that. Anyway, so we have this chart here. To me, this chart frankly, it looks fine. Is it down a lot from its highs of a few weeks ago? Yeah, that's a weekly chart. So in the past 10 weeks, it's come down from its highs at 784 back down to 580. Same price it was in April, March, and December of last year. So Facebook has lost all of the value it's gained in the past year as well, just like the rest of the crypto market. Is that bad? No, not at all. You can see the trend is still up, right? I mean, without looking at fundamentals and the advertising revenue and all that type of stuff, the trend is still up until it drops down below that and continues the downtrend, the local downtrend of the past few weeks. The overall, and it's on the weekly chart, still up, which is good. And Pedro is calling for that level right here at 580. Let's see if we can suss out what he sees here. Let's just put the line at 580. See what he's looking at. We're almost to that. I mean, it's coming down while we're talking. I mean, it came down today or this week to 584. Almost hit Pedro's number exactly. And then started its way back up. Let's see, 580's here. Must have been on the daily chart Pedro was looking at. Let's look. You know what? I have not changed this music in a while. I'm sorry if it's too loud in your ear with the same yeah music. Let's put a little post bloom on. Let's see, daily chart. All right, so Pedro is looking at 580 because he's found some liquidity in this area here. It is not traded through this area yet, but he likes the liquidity level there. I'll let him tell you why but I can just tell that he's going to say that there are orders there. But big move down for Facebook. That the Wednesday the 29th, big down day for them. Big down day for them. Must have been Analyst's call. They went from 756 on the open. I'm sorry, on the close of the week before on the Friday to Monday morning. 681. Big drop in that short period of time. El Bigo Drapo, as they say. Don't know if the great comment machine is working well. I haven't had a comment in a little while on Rumble. When you guys are out there, let me know. Space Cat was reporting problems with Rumble. If anyone else having trouble, let me know so I can report it. But anyway, Facebook is coming down, and it looks like it's going to hit Pedro's 580 trade market. Trade market? Trading price? 24-hour high of $600, 24-hour low of 580. So it's got the volatility to hit that today or tomorrow. The market, let's look at what's going on with the Nasdaq. Nasdaq is down 120. The market's coming back a little bit. If the market goes down another day in a row, it'll hit his 580 mark. And if it does, that would be a great place to tag it and put in just a higher low. And for Facebook to report fourth quarter then. Earnings up, and then this would do that. That's how that works. I'll just leave that on that chart there for Facebook, for Meta. See what happens. Pedro was also talking about a strategy. Let's look at MSTR. Need a play in strategy. MSTR. All right, here is MicroStrategy, 212. The 24-hour low is 196. Pedro's, I gotta go back to the trades here. I may not have written this one down. No, I did. His entry price was 204, long and hold strategy. Go long and hold it. Want demand wicks, not seller wicks. All right, let's look at that, see if that came through. This is a daily chart, just a big red line. See if Pedro's strategy caused him to go long on strategy. You knew that was coming, ladies and gentlemen. You knew it was coming. All right. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say that Pedro would not have taken this trade. And the reason is that he's got it listed at 204. I bet you he's readjusted it to 185 or 180 or something like that. If Bitcoin goes down at all, you'll see MicroStrategy go down. But the reason is that here, it's probably behind me. Let's just go. Let's do this the old school way and go to the chalkboard, Mr. Herlihy. Here, there are no real demand wicks. There's no real supply wicks either. There's just a downward trend. And for the past, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, this has been following the 8-period moving average, just coming down. And so I would, having the man Pedro in my ear for 3 years, I would say that Pedro would look at that and say, still going down, not until we see a real demand for the product and for it. And kind of mirrors Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been going down since the beginning of the month. And thus strategy stock price has been coming down as well. So I would say Pedro would not have taken that trade, and we'll readjust the pricing on that the next time we talk about it. So if you're looking to get in strategy, not the time yet. Not the time yet. It's gonna be coming back down a little lower, which in my mind means Bitcoin is coming back down a little lower then, which means we could still be in for 85,000 coming soon. Interesting correlation there. All right, so I would hold off. Just like holding off going long on Bitcoin, hold off going long or buying call options or selling put options on MicroStrategy. Last one I wanted to talk about was Aster. Because we've got a trade on for that as well. Oh, I think I got it. Oh, there it is. look at the perpetual price. You know what? Let's not look at the perpetual price. The chart is not big enough. Look at the spot price on. I guess that chart was big enough. Over on the Great Graphics or the TradeWave app here, let's see. We had a trade in with Aster. Right, here it is. To get in at 98 cents and hold it. And Pedro was going to be in the 1 for 5, meaning that he was going to hold it for a big gain on it. And that, I don't know what date that was on, but it hit our target. It went below. It hit that target on the daily chart. Well, it hit at the beginning of the month, went all the way down into the 80s. And Pedro did not buy it. He said there was no demand wicks. We're on the daily candle. On the daily candles, there are lots of demand wicks. I don't know why he didn't buy it. I can't remember. I wonder if he's texted me. Hold on, everybody. I'll put everyone. Oops, still on mute. Is that baby Draco in the house? When did I become the house speaker? Damn, homie, when you become the house speaker? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to pass this budget. We're going to get it done. The Democrats are not going to stop us. We've got a good coalition of people. We've got good people behind us. We're good people. They're good. We've got a good plan. They are good people. Those evil, that Chucky doll, Schumer guy, he won't stop us. Chucky doll. I had an event this morning, Jesus, in which I had to wear the suit, and got back to the studio here just before it. So I was in the suit, so kept it on. Anyway, we're going over Aster right now. Aster, frankly, I can't remember why Pedro didn't take the trade, but he would have taken it on November, whatever. But there was plenty of demand wicks on the daily chart. There was also lots of supply wicks, but it started trending up. We'll find out about that. But it would have been a good trade because it would have been up 35%. It would have been a great trade. But when I said to Pedro, it's crossed our target, we're on, he goes, nope, didn't have the demand wicks. The only time you see Pedro, or not Pedro, Jesus like that, he's got court or a funeral. Or a wedding. Could be a wedding. Anyway, so that's it with Aster. Obviously, Aster's been pumping lately, back up near its highs. If Pedro were here right now, he'd be saying, let's wait for it to come back down. So I'm sure he'll be revising his buy order of 98. I'm sure he's going to bring it down to like 114 or something. Maybe even... keep it at 98. Depending who's getting married with the prices. No kidding, man. No kidding. All right, so I covered Meta, which was it's going to come back down into Pedro's area. I covered Master Strategy, just strategy. That too needs to come down a little bit to hit our area. Oh, I didn't cover BNB. Let's look at BNB. BNB, I thought I got stopped out in because I thought my stop was at 900. I bought it. I went long at 950. But was not the case. Oh. I think I got stopped out today. Because I actually had that. No, it didn't go below the 200 period moving average. My stop was at 880 because it was below this 200 period. I can't see that. Below the 200 period moving average here. And so I didn't get stopped out. So I was still in the trade. I'm losing money underwater in it. The price is currently, what's the price? What is it? 936. My trade was right here. I haven't marked as stopped out. I wasn't stopped out. I had the moving average wrong, but still losing money in it. Although it will be easy for BNB to pump back 950. My sell stop there, or my sell limit order, whatever you want to call it, is at 1,025. Make some fat sacks of cash if that happens. And note, because TradeWave is still in beta, there's no actual trade behind it, so it would be fat pretend cash. Let's go Bitcoin to 50,000. That would be good if we knew it was going to go there, save some money and buy it there, but not going to go there. Not going to go there. All right, let's see how many people we got watching here. I got enough for an ad. Let's see if I can get a decent ad here. I know you guys are waiting, saying, "Oh my God, Tom hasn't read an ad in a while." We're gonna go with Gundry MD. This is the guy, white-haired doctor guy you see run what foods to eat. I like his ads. All right, ladies and gentlemen, don't eat breakfast until you learn about caloric bypass. Your breakfast is setting you up for the entire day to either gain weight or lose it. The term breakfast literally means to break your fast that you started the night before. About 4 hours after you eat dinner, your body switches from the nutrients we get from food to the stored glycogen we have in our bodies. Once glycogen stores are depleted, typically after 8 to 12 hours of fasting, the body shifts to burning fat for energy. Fatty acids are released from fat stores where they are converted into ketone bodies through a process called ketogenesis. Then when you eat breakfast in the morning, the body starts the cycle all over again. This is where the caloric bypass comes into play. Dr. Gundry, heart surgeon in California, learned that if you break your nightly fast with something called MCTs, or medium chain triglycerides, you can actually keep burning fat throughout the day and use it for energy. But there are specific types of foods that contain these MCTs. Using this breakfast breakthrough, he was able to lose 70 pounds through just diet, and he did this in his 60s. Ladies and gentlemen, scan the QR code or click the link in the chat to watch Dr. Gundry's eye-opening presentation. It could change the way you think about fruit forever. I've seen some of these ads, and it really wakes you up about the foods you're putting in your body. I recently bought some protein or some oatmeal. And he came right out, and one of his things said, "Just don't eat oatmeal in the morning. Just it kills you." I was like, ugh. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that QR code over there, put your eyeballs on our sponsors. They really helps Pedro and I out. Gundry MD, avoid the 3 foods ruining your gut and energy. Scan the QR code or check the chat to watch Dr. Gundry's viral video now. Thank you to Gundry MD for sponsoring this segment of DYOR Live. All right, ladies and gentlemen. F that. Smoke weed every day. In Nate Dogg's voice. I believe the message from Mr. Gundry is that fruit is good, just not first thing in the morning. You gotta, as he goes on to talk about feeding, which I believe is that
I know you can hear me.
which humans are just a transport for the bacteria in our stomach. We are just a token of that. Ladies and gentlemen, I know you can hear him because I can hear him in my ear, and I turned his microphone on. Mr. Pedro Garcia Jr.
Slamming through a Slim Jim, let's go.
Slamming through a Slim Jim, let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, Pedro Garcia has joined the show right in time because I just ran out of material, Pedro.
Oh, I'm glad, dude. I need to grab something to eat. So forgive me, you all know what I look like when I eat. It's going to frustrate Tom and probably irritate half you guys out there. Good. That means you can handle this market. Y'all's a bunch of pansies, can't handle this. Nah, just playing. I know. It hurts, man. The pain is real whenever like you're seeing you're like, come on. But I know it's got to go down further. We know what's happening here, so it's just one of
Wait, go take your break, go do your thing, come back. I'm going to run the commercial.
All right. Cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back for the fourth half hour of the show and the final 30 minutes of the show with Mr. Pedro Garcia Jr. So stick around, be right back. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. DYOR Live every day, 12 p.m. Eastern Time, currently UTC -5. Anyway, welcome back to the fourth half hour of DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. My name is Striking, otherwise known as Tom, here in the digital media world. Coming to you from the I'm not going to say it. From the country of Kazakhstan, up north here. Thanks to the final countdown. The final countdown! What was that? The band Europe. Your name should be Mr. Sharp today. Yes, just call me Mr. Sharp. Tom Sharp. Anyway, coming to us from the studio here in Ottawa, Ontario. Market's doing okay. Bitcoin recovering today. As you can see, the price is 93,226. As those of you that have stayed around this show for a while know, I've been talking about Bitcoin going down to 85, which this morning when I programmed the show, Bitcoin was at 88. So 85 was right around the corner. Thankfully, Bitcoin went boop, did this instead. But it can still head down. I'm not even sure if that's the Bitcoin chart or if that was the... what chart was? That was the BNB chart there. BNB also recovering today. Let's bring up... wait, I have this shortcut here somewhere. Let's use this shortcut. Make sure that just even works. No, that's not the right chart. Oh, that's the Bitstamp chart. I want the finance chart. There we go. And I want the hourly chart. All right, Bitcoin's still trending up here today. Like I said, ideally there'd be a nice little consolidation forming with a flag. Just kind of chilling the rest of this week before launching into next week. That would be the ideal thing. What is the technical term of the whoop? I don't even know what that means. Which one did I refer to as the whoop? Anyway, Pedro, I can hear Pedro in the background messing with his silverware, so I know he's going to be on anytime here soon. Which is making me hungry. Glad we're entertaining you, Jesus. Glad we're entertaining you. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we've got people watching us on a bunch of platforms today. We got everybody watching. Sorry I haven't been following the comments on X. I didn't launch that platform. I did, but I had to close that window. People watching on Facebook, and now people watching on YouTube. Our primary platform is Rumble. YouTube has been derating us because we talk about things related to gambling, otherwise known as predictive markets. And they are just putting the brakes on gambling, and because predictive markets are all the rage right now in crypto, they are unknowingly putting the brakes on crypto. If we recall, YouTube came out and said, "Oh, we're sorry. We didn't mean to do all this anti-free speech stuff. We're just going to let people talk about what they want." That was nope. They lied. They lied. Like if one advertiser calls and complains, "Oh, our ad got placed on a financial show with a guy in a suit. They mentioned something about Polymarket. We don't want our ads over there." Meanwhile, every 20 to 40-year-old male eyeball is on Polymarket. Yes, I'm waiting for Pedro to come back here. Yes, I am, as a matter of fact. Pretty good. We've already had 73 people tune into the show today. That's pretty nice. Enjoy that. Hearing Pedro getting closer. Perhaps. Mr. Pedro Garcia in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Should be on one of the screens here. There he is. Oh, look at him. But Pedro just came out of the desert. Oh wait, no, you're not in a desert. You're in like the Maldives somewhere or something like that. One of their shallow beaches or something like that. What kind of hell did you make yourself for lunch? Is this La Bamba burrito as big as your head? No, I forgot to turn on your mic. Thanks, Jesus. There's Pedro. Pedro's on now.
What's up, my people? How you guys doing? No, that is what do we want to call this? A cereal burrito. You ever had one?
A cereal burrito. What, you got like Fruit Loops in there? Get them Lucky Charms.
Charms. Look at the edges. All right, let's jump right into this real quick so that we can nail this out for our Technical Tuesday. Alrighty. BTC, nice. So this is my cleanup chart here. We talked about if we close below here, we should still keep seeing the sell-off, and this is what we're doing here. Now, today was a pretty decent amount of volumes, which is really good. We talked about that 84, 86 area typically acting as support. Let me pull the other one here real quick. Let's see.
Hold on a sec, Pedro. My system's running a little slow. I don't have your screen up yet. It's coming. Should be here now. Oh, for the love of God. Switch the fucking screen, will you?
Come on. You guys can see me eating here too. Yeah.
My system is not responding at all here. Great.
My system failed yesterday, and your system is not responding.
There we go. All right, it's doing it slowly here. There we go. Now we got your chart up.
All right.
Earlier, before you came on there, Mr. Burrito Man, I was talking about the concept that Bitcoin would still has the opportunity to pump next week. We saw Bitcoin drop all the way down to like almost 88 here overnight. Right before I made the show, it was at 88. I was up early this morning, so I made the show. It said possibly 85 incoming, and then by the time I got back from the event here, it was moving, grooving, and pumping. And I said, all right, well, if it's going to move and groove and pump, then maybe I'd like to see the rest of the week it consolidate a little bit. It's absorbed a lot of liquidity the past week in the market, and then prime itself for a bust out next week and groove and move on up. And after I drew it out, I was like, well, the way I drew it out, it still kind of came down and matched that 85,000. Still seemed like a lower high was in the cards there at some point or another. And is that your observation as well, or is this thing just going straight down the old toilet hole?
Well, no. So we talked about we needed to see some big buys start to come in at this level here, right? I talked about as we start to come down into that 92,000, I want to see it kind of sell off through it and then see it close here. Because, like I said, there's a ton of buyers sitting right here. There's a ton of buyers, or orders that need to be matched. So that's actually what we're seeing here right now. You can see it hit the little can we tapped off of here. You saw them kind of come down. Once we pass this area here, this gap area, this is when you started to see the demand wick starting to step in on the 2 hour, on the 1 hour, on the 4 hour, right? So that's a good sign saying, okay, cool. They're stepping in and filling orders at a proper level. That's what we want to see. So that means we'll most likely continue down, but this drop is this is good. That means they're filling orders, and hence it might just rally from here, honestly. I'm not saying that it's going to, but in all reality, it's playing right. It's doing exactly what I wanted to do. If I was going to go long, I wish we had more volume coming in instead of in the evening. This is obviously China stepping in right, coming in the market as it was selling off. I was hoping more of that type of sell-off during the U.S. Open, but it's still good. We're starting to see some stuff. So I would expect to see a pullback though here, just simply because you can see how we really don't have any demand wicks right here on the other end. So this is basically, this could be a pullback into the daily 8 sitting right here, right? Tomorrow we can see it most likely maybe pump up here, hit that 8 and then continue down and position maybe right up in these levels here. So yes and no. It's still kind of too early in the week to see, but we're playing nicely though. And we had the sell off on Sunday and Monday. We're seeing it bounce off today on Tuesday, so that's a good sign of we're in the right kind of track. It's playing nice. It's doing what it's supposed to do. I like it, and I like it a lot. It all depends again on next week when I see what's happening. But they are putting in positions as we're selling off, so that's a good sign. That is a very, very good sign. Cereal burritos are amazing. It's not cereal actually. It's some chorizo. All my Spanish people out there knows what's up. You might even know too. Some chorizo with some salami, and you basically like make that up. Like you put chorizo and like eggs and stuff like that. So I had some eggs with some mushrooms, and I had for last night, and then made it up today, put it in a burrito, and here I am eating in front of you guys. And it probably looks really gross, but it's amazing. Can you hear me? Oh, you can? I just can't hear you. Right.
Sorry, I put myself on mute again. I keep clicking that button.
Oh, it's okay. So let's go into the S&P 500 here real quick. Let's talk numbers. We are at that 666 mark again. We've been playing here now for a while. 666 for the S&P 500 futures. Like I talked about, I wish I could found that guy when I was on Zach Humphrey's show up here. When the market was at its peak at the, he's like, they won't let it sell off down to here. I said, we'll see. We'll see. Like,
was it Michael? Is it that guy, Mike?
I do not know who it was, but I can't wait to go back on it.
There was one guy on Zach's show who was convinced that in the first week of November we were going to see $1 million BTC. He's like, there's special rule changes in the Federal Reserve coming, and the banking this and the banking world, and when he was talking about like it was fact, gonna happen.
Right.
And I'm right. Like, it's Bitcoin not at $1 million yet.
Well, here's the thing, right? Like I always bring this up. Before they explode something, they want to get in a good position, so they will sell off that market. So he just doesn't understand the market dynamics in that aspect. But overall, I think he's very much right. Seeing $1 million mark, that's so hard to say. $1 million price point, not market cap, on BTC is very much. I think it's coming here real quick. When I say real quick, I mean 3-5 years from now, maybe 7. But it's coming. It absolutely is. I mean, and with that said, the S&P 500, we should see a bit of a sell-off. We're coming up to and this is super important, that 100-day period moving average. It's really important to understand this movement here. If we close below that 100 period, be ready for a bit of a sell-off to that 200. You can see that we're seeing a lot of selling pressure come in. Right? Look at the volume here. It's real, right? And so I'm watching it come in. I'm expecting it to sell off. I think we talked about it hitting that 62.45 area. Remember the environment that we're in. We're in an inflationary environment. So the fact that Powell is not willing to lower rates in December shows a sign of even though they're saying we have not high inflation, if Powell isn't dropping his rates, then, bro, we're in some form of an inflationary environment. In addition to it, if we start to see him really kind of falter on that again even more, even into the future, we should see a bit of a sell-off again. Like I said, I keep seeing that 40 or that 6200 area coming down to. I think by the time we hit that, we could see the 200 period moving average sitting right above at that level. So this is kind of like what I'm waiting for. That area, if you are into stocks, you can go on. We need to get honestly a what's that called, Robinhood link for our people so they can sign up underneath us, right? And so when I'm saying, hey, look, this is what I'm looking to be buying, which is going to be, guess what, the top tech stocks, and you can either buy the Russell for that, and that would be this right here. No, excuse me, not the Russell, the NQ. So let's put up the NQ right here. And so we're kind of coming down to that area, but it's showing some strength. But again, I think we're going to come down into that 22,000 area here, maybe lower, right? We might hit that.
Is that the right active contract for the NQ?
No, this is just the NQ extended. Why am I forgetting what it's called?
Whatever. It generally mirrors the price.
Yeah. It's a daily index. It basically finds the day movement, and so is where the majority of the American volume sits at. The NQ is typically right here. This is the futures, right, or the Nasdaq right here. And so they're all sitting at that 89 period moving average. This is always a tumultuous area here. I really want to see us close green and tap that 8 so that we can continue down. If we just see a straight drop, expect a straight rally. But I don't want to see that because that just means that they're messing with everybody's heart. But I'd rather see something like that come back up, boom, boom, and something of that nature where we hit that 22,582 area. If we hold here, we should see it go up. If it doesn't, then that next level is going to be at that 2,100. And we should see some play there off the 400 period moving average. So that's going to be for the NQ. Let's talk about bonds, and yields. All
Yields
right,
going up. Is that correct, Pedro?
Yeah. Well, yes and no. So if you look at the 10-year yield, the yields have been going up, bonds have been going down. But if you look at the 10-year yield and the 2-year yield, those are the two real ones you want to be paying attention to. Now, obviously, I always talk about the 1 month, 2 month, because they're the ones closest to the Fed rate. But in the same sense, you can see here that everybody's saying, oh, it's going up. Dude, it's been going sideways. What are you talking about, Willis? Listen, since November. Look at this right here. It's just going sideways. It's stuck in between that.
Which one do you have up there? The 10-year?
Yeah, this is the 10-year yield. Yep. And so you can see here, like just from a visual standpoint, you can see here sideways came down. We rallied back up sideways, right? We're coming up into this area of resistance. It looks like a man. That's weird. Sorry.
It's a man, baby. She's a man.
So here's your zone, so we're coming back and hitting that area. Now the key point behind this is if we're going to continue up, we need to see a real push in demand. Okay, and so this is where I'm watching the 8 or the 50 period moving average, and I'm watching that 100 period average. If I start to see these on the weekly start to really pick up as we're moving, then most likely we're going to continue up. But as of right now, we're just kind of consolidating. It's going straight here on your moving averages, which basically communicates to me that it's still kind of iffy. We don't know. Again, this is the weekly chart here. And so we're stuck in between that 20 period moving average and the 8 period moving average on the weekly. So we're going to see some ping-ponging effects going on here. It still also has to get above that
Jesus, I just got your Richie
and
Valens.
has to get above that 50 period. So you're going to start seeing something that looks very similar to this, right? Like
just
kind of like how Bitcoin looks during the bear market when it just basically ping-pongs, right? It's going to see something similar to here. So I don't think we're going to see huge pushes when it comes to the 10-year and the 20-year when it comes to this. 20-year, again, on the weekly is in between the 8 and 20, very similar to what we were looking at the 10-year. And the 30-year looks the same. You can see right here, boom. Okay, next. Now, the reason why we're going over this is because I want you guys to understand that traders are kind of iffy here because Powell kind of came out and said, yeah, I'm not dropping rates here.
Right.
You would expect rates to just skyrocket, but they're not, right? So it's like, if it was real this is what I'm talking about is a technical standpoint, and fundamentals will always override technical analysis when it comes to real money coming in. The fact that it's not, I almost play like this, it almost feels like it's a bit of a, for lack of a better word, Powell's playing some game again. So this is where I think the traders kind of waiting and seeing. We'll wait and see.
Well, I frankly, I just feel that he's playing the let's wait out the labor game and wait out the inflation game. That the inflation could easily crank back up. But he wants to see what's going on with these court cases, whether Trump's gonna have to pay back a bunch of tariff money and stuff like that, which it'll never happen. He'll never write that check.
Stupidest thing in the world, bro. Like, people are literally talking about the most, like, honestly, how they're trying to, like, pivot this. Like, why? Like, are you purposely trying to hurt America? It feels like, I hate to say, if you're a Democrat and you're actually for that, you're an absolute unique individual, and I don't understand you. Because it doesn't make sense. Like, why would you want to give that money back? That's just silly.
It would just be automatic massive inflation because they have to print money to give it back.
It's just dumb. Like, do you really want to hurt America? Do you really want to hurt yourself? It's like those people who would rather, like, hold on to a truth and shoot themselves in the foot, or hold on to a lie and shoot themselves in the foot, right? Like, somebody asks, hey, is that gun loaded? No. Well, shoot yourself just to prove a point.
Oops.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, that's the same thing. Like, hey, keep the money, have a good day. All right, move forward. But I just think it's the most silly. When I saw it, I was like, world. Anyways, let's keep moving forward here because we got a few minutes here.
Crypto Mike in the house. Thanks for joining us, Crypto Mike. Pedro, I've got about 10 extra minutes past the top of the hour, and then that's it for me.
Well, I really don't, too. So
you can keep going if you want. I can take a break and...
well, I'll make this here real quick. Boom. So we're watching supply week starting to get put in on the demand on the 30-year. Now, what's important here is as we're watching it put, look at this. We don't have that big of a volume coming in. You would expect with the news that we've been seeing, there'd be huge amounts of selling like we saw right here, right? When it comes to the 30-year bond. That's not what we're seeing. We're kind of just seeing it now start to kind of come down like what's it, Miranda? When it just kind of peruse down here. So this is where I'm kind of just saying, I don't think they're buying it. They're not buying it. You know what I'm saying? You would expect it to push harder, and it's not. We just cleared above the 200 period moving average. That weekly, we talked about the weekly 50 coming in. And again, that's really what we're bouncing off from a technical standpoint. Technicals are still in charge. Absolutely. So it's just like, are they really serious about it? We'll see. I don't think they are. I think we're going to see bonds go up. We're going to see yields go down sooner or later. And the traders know it. You know, when they want to be hedging billions and billions of dollars, if not trillions, against this market. They just wouldn't. They're betting that it's going to go up. All right, next, let's check out some really cool stuff here. Let's check out the dollar. The dollar is doing what we said it was most likely going to do. We're seeing it kind of consolidating, but I'm still expecting it to get up to that 102 area, potentially even to that 106 area.
That would be a little strong for comfort's sake.
But right now we're hitting that 200 period moving average, which is what we're seeing here on the daily. And you can see though that it's finding support on the weekly. You can see here that it's starting to find support on that weekly as it's coming up here. So it's looking pretty nice here. We came down, getting ready to go back up. And so that's that area that we're talking about, that 101, 102 area where the with the 50 period moving average, and the 400-day period moving average is sitting on the weekly. So one of those things we're kind of looking at, or excuse me, on the daily. Weekly 50, daily 200, kind of sitting right here, and then above us is that 400 on the daily, which is where the 50 period moving average is sitting on the weekly. All right, so I'm expecting this to kind of climb back up to there here, probably in the next, I would just say, if I was gonna be a betting man, maybe 8 weeks, maybe even to the year. I would give America some higher purchasing power when it comes to doing business with the tariff situation, because we have a higher interest, or we have higher, our dollar would be worth more, hence being able to buy more goods and being able to bring low cost back to us. All right, so that's what we're seeing here for the DXY. Let's go into crude oil here. Crude oil, we can see here we came down to this area that we talked about. What's cool about it is this, it's just kind of just playing here between that one like the 60, and I'm gonna include all this down in here as well, to that 55 area. I think we will play here for the crude oil, but lo and behold, we talked about the long for nat gas. Right. Skyrocketed. So we talked about getting long, but this is kind of a seasonal play that we expect, right? Come winter time, people typically use more natural gas, right? Because they burn it, heat their house. In addition to that, we also knew that crude oil, because Americans will slow down our driving on a daily basis when it's winter time. And so a lot of times that's what we see. Crude oil drops seasonally, and we see natural gas kind of go up. So we, if you guys got in on this play, nice play. We were talking about it in August and September-ish area, and you can see we saw it go up. So I was actually looking at that the other day going, ooh, that's a nice play. Okay, next, I'll finish it off here real quick. I expect it over the year, because it's supposed to be a pretty cold winter here in America. They've talked about it, and so it's not supposed to be an El Nino year, or is it El Nino year? I forget what they call it. During the winter time.
Whatever.
Yeah, but it's that's when it's more of a warmer winter.
Right. One of them, La Nina is one way, El Nino is the other way. All I hope is we get lots of snow at the ski areas, and everywhere else is warm.
Well, we'll probably have some cold. So if it does pull back, I'm looking at this area here as a pullback area. A lot of our viewers here. Boom. I've been listening to African spiritual worship music, and it's been stuck in my head, bro. And it sounds like I'm listening to, like, that one part in Lion King, it's like, it's like that, but it's like it's praising God. It's pretty epic. It's just playing in the back of my head right now as I'm doing this. Okay, so the area here is $3.75 area. It's kind of when I'm waiting for that pullback here and then continue it up. It's kind of the ones I'm kind of expecting us to see. Let me go to so nice little play here as well. You can take a pretty decent play here as well at that $4.396 area here. Okay, so let's go to gold. Gold is starting to rally here, just like what we saw down in here. I think I expect something like this at that 3,000 mark area. I don't think, if we keep having a lot of the fears that's coming out with inflation, job numbers here in America, a lot of things actually happening, I'm expecting to see us do some consolidation and then continue even higher. We marked down here that I maybe mid-January, February, we could see a $5,000. This is the reason why I'm saying that is because I don't expect to hear really good job reports coming out here.
No.
And so that should make the US or the S&P 500 drop, hence bring fear into the market, hence see this thing pump up to that 5,000 area. So we're going to be really interesting when it comes to reports in the next quarter, because if we have a really bad And again, I am expecting a bad Christmas number. I'm not expecting to see retail numbers come out amazing. So people are losing jobs, people are hurting, people are definitely going through and holding back on their cash expenditures, or just people want to save right now. And so this is where I'm expecting this to see kind of a push up here. Silver, similar situation. We came down to our area right here for silver, that 45 pullback, went back up, created new all-time highs. And again, hopefully some of you guys got in on that pullback there for silver. Another area pullback. All right. So
what
I
is
like
silver's
that. SI1. SI1 parentheses, or what's that called? Exclamation mark that. So 47.85 to the 47.41 area is kind of like what I'm looking at. It's okay. We can move on because I know that everybody's kind of waiting. Let's go over here real quick. The tech stocks. We're starting to see a round over on the tech stocks. Again, this is Apple. This is the top 10 stocks out there. Apple, Microsoft, Google, Tesla, Meta, Visa, and United Health. And so basically it's the top stuff in the NASDAQ. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up here is as we're starting to see it round over, right? We're seeing a decent amount of volume kind of come in here, more so. So this is on the weekly chart. It's really important to understand that when we start to see something like that on the weekly chart, it means it's starting to really pick up. And so that next level that I'm looking at is seen as potentially coming down below that 285 area. So you're like, well, Pedro, that's a conglomeration, or that is a mesh of 10 stocks you have there. You are right. Or I guess 9. So let's see what it looks like on Google. Google is showing strength here, but we're watching the whole entire system starting to turn over on the NASDAQ. So if you're looking to be playing here, I really am expecting us to get down to that 226. So if you're thinking about buying it, you could buy some fractal stocks over at over on Robinhood. Also similar to Amazon. Amazon's been really hurt by the talk on tariffs. That 197 area to 194 is a nice little area here that I like. Also, if we see a pickup, we can get down to that 166, 151 area. Let's look at Apple. Apple has been showing a lot of strength as we're seeing it push up. The only problem is you can see how you have a lot of supply weeks coming in there. So that's why I'm expecting Apple to see a bit of a sell-off, even potentially down to that 247 area here, simply because it's the dynamic area of the 100 or the 189 area here. And we will do that there real quick.
Crypto Mike is doing some excellent emojiing right now.
That's what I'm talking about.
When you mentioned the US dollar, I even have one of the thumbnail girls that did the US dollar episode down there in the emote section, and Mike quickly called that up. So if there's someone that's paying attention here and participating, Mike wins the award.
Yeah, shout out to Mikey. Watching our good old friend MSTR.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to talk to you about.
Yes, talk to me, Goose.
Earlier I went over this because I have a list of the TradeWave app has a list of your trades. And the TradeWave app said that you were going to buy strategy at 204. And I looked at the chart and I said, I don't think he was going to buy. I think he would have revised his number down because of demand wicks, and it was following the 8-period moving average.
Yes. Yeah.
And I looked at it. I said, oh, probably down to 185 or something like that. I don't remember exactly what I said during the show.
Yeah. So you're actually spot on. We're seeing a bit of a bounce here, as you can see here on the on the weekly area here. But again,
Bitcoin's bouncing, so.
Yeah, it's exactly. I was about to bring up Bitcoin's bouncing, but you can see here we're not putting any demand wick here. And like you said perfectly, we're coming up to that 8-period moving average. And so it's just, I want to see more volume come in. I want to see it push up. So right now, honestly, I would re-advise myself to say that 144 to that 141 area. Again, you can purchase this on, why am I forgetting what it's called? Robinhood, if you're looking to get in on and take part in the MSTR world here. But again, I like it at that 144, 141 area. It's a nice little play. So we'll go check them out. One could only get down to
144. Bitcoin's got to come down a lot for strategy to get down that low. But like we said, anything's possible here. We did a couple of weeks ago. Were we saying that we'd be talking about these numbers for strategy? No. Did we still think Bitcoin was coming down in these levels? Yes. But still, you get that mind block that tech stocks can only go up, and they don't. Pedro, we also had a trade out there. I know you probably got this on your list of things here to talk about, was Meta.
Yes.
In Meta, you have listed on TradeWave as being a buy at 580. And I looked at that and I said, he's probably going to revise his number on that one too.
Yeah. Right on. You right it. So we're coming up to that area. Now, I'm more apt to get in on Meta here. And literally because as you're watching, that 8-period moving average for me on the daily showing weakness. You can see as we're coming down into this area, right? Look at all these demand wicks as we're coming in. Demand wick. Look at all those demand wicks coming in. So that's definitely people buying as we're seeing the sell-off for Meta. We'll wait and see, but I like it at this price. In all honesty, I like it at this price. Just wait. Let's wait for. We just kind of need to wait and see how it's gonna play. And so, with this said, I like this area, that 583-ish area to that 570. If we really start to break through that, if we break through the 8-period this week, then let's buy it and we'll see it run back up. We just want to wait and see how it's playing off of that 8. That 8 is showing weakness, so I would expect this might be the turnaround area for it, but we're just going to wait and see until it makes it very abundantly clear that we're moving up. All right, let's go into Netflix. Netflix is one of those ones. What's up?
Oh man, this one freaked me out yesterday, Pedro. They did a 10-for-1 split, but right over your shoulder here, it lists Netflix.
Yeah.
They're at $114, but it listed it down 90% because the 24-hour period thing on TradingView hadn't caught up with the 10-for-1 split. So it said it was down 90%. And I was like, Netflix down 90%. Holy beep, 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 beep. And of course, then as soon as I clicked on the chart, it said 10-for-1 split. And I was like, I was like, oh my God. What? I was like, accounting scandal. CEO ran off with the money. I mean, for a stock, for a big tech stock to go down 90%, really bad. Charges, perp walk, the whole thing. Nope, just stock split, and the chart hadn't caught up with it.
Well, and what's interesting is that as we're watching them, last quarter, they actually had negative earnings, right? But in all reality, it's still, the fact is that they're doing the split with negative earnings. One, I think it's good for the stock because we've seen a major sell-off from 127 or 1,250 area all the way down to the 1,000 area, which is a pretty big drop if you think about it. It's almost a 25% drop from the previous high, or even from the high in June. It went from 1,034, which is now 134, all the way down to 109. you're talking almost a 24%, 25% drop easily there. And so that's why I'm going, yeah, it makes sense. They would need to do a drop just to get people to come in. Probably next quarter, they'll probably have another, I don't think it'll be another good. Everybody's just getting rid of anything that they do not need, right? Right now they're hunkering down. And so we'll probably see another negative quarter for Netflix. Netflix coming back down. We could see it come down to that 94 area, or excuse me, 93 area. So that's about in a nutshell. Now let's hit up crypto here. So we went over Bitcoin. We talked about coming back up to that 8-period moving average on Ethereum. Again, I'm still bearish for Ethereum down at this level here of 288, but really if we can come down to that 2117 is one of those areas that I like. So that's it right there for that. Check out BNB. We talked about BNB coming back down, finding support at that 838 area down to that 792 area. So kind of like this whole entire where the 200 period moving average is sitting. Let's check about XRP.
Pedro, quickly on BNB, I thought we talked about it yesterday or the day before. I thought I had gotten stopped out at 900 because I took it long at 950.
Yep.
I went back and looked at it in my notes, and actually, my mind, the 200 period moving average was at 900 around there, and I put my stop below the 200 period moving average, which was at 880, and we got as low as 883. So I did not get stopped out.
Nice, awesome. So good trade.
I was trying to think why I picked 900, and I was like, nothing lines up on the chart for 900. And then I went and looked at my notes, and it said 200 period moving average, and I drew it out, and I'm like, oh, it's at 880. So nice. Still the BNB trade's still on, still underwater, but not too much.
Okay, nice. Let's check about XRP. XRP is still showing weakness as we come down into this level here. Again, if I'm going to be getting it, I want to be buying it around kind of like that $1 to about 161 area. You can see this is where the institutions are wanting to buy it, and it makes it sense for them. So I'm honestly kind of waiting for it to still continue lower before I start to purchase XRP. And all you guys out there saying that, oh, Pedro's starting to buy it. It's not that I agree with them, but I don't want to lose out on the money. So that's it.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
That's it. TRX is coming back down again. We bounced off this area here, but again, it couldn't hold it. We're starting to see a sell up. Will this be waiting for the, is that going to be 6 area? 6. Here we go. TRX right at this level here. It's going to be a nice little play here at that 26-25 area. If we do come down here, that's a nice little area to play again. I'm going to hold off on the area that we're sitting. We saw a nice little bounce here, but it's not holding. We bounced through the, you can see how the 50-period moving average on the weekly is showing weakness. You can see how it's pointing down. You can see how the 8-period is pointing down, and we're starting to see the turnover for the death cross. So it's one of those ones I'm expecting us to come down to a little bit further for TRX. Let's go over Cardano real quick. Cardano is coming back down to that 44 area here. I talked with somebody else this week. I said, listen, expect it to come down lower. It's going to be that 44, 43 area. And honestly, if it doesn't hold there, the next level is coming back down to that 36 to 32 area here. So it's one of those things I'm going to be looking for to be picking some up there. After that, Solana is coming back down. We consolidate off this area here, that 142, but the next level is that 126, and after that it's the 92 area. So again, this is a critical point, that 126 area. If it cannot hold there, then we're coming down most likely to the 92.79 area here. And I think that's the top. What else do I need to do? Dots.
You don't need to hit all of these here.
Oh yeah, Shiba Inu. You're right. Shiba Inu's hit that area here of that 877 to the 848. If it doesn't hold here, which it looks like it's not going to hold, it's coming back down to that 638 area, which is going to be the low. So it's getting crazy here on Shiba. I know that Zach Humphreys is kind of giving up the ghost on them. He went publicly and was like, they're not doing much.
Yeah. Just in somewhat breaking news, The Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin, why am I forgetting his last name? Salam.
I don't know.
I just literally said his name an hour ago. Anyway, MBS announced in the meeting with Trump he just had that Saudi Arabia is going to invest a total of $1 trillion in the United States, not $500 billion, as he said before. How that works out will be something else. I mean, that'll be a lot of investment.
Infrastructure, or are we talking real?
Who knows? Who knows?
This is all about that infrastructure.
It's all about that infrastructure. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's that time. It's that time. What time is that? Time for the kick tracks. You know what time that means? It's time for us to get going here, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Pedro, thanks for joining us the last part of the show here. I know you were busy during the first part of the show, but I got through it. I managed to get through it there and do everything. Ladies and gentlemen, the price of Bitcoin moving up, which is good. Like I said before, I'm hoping for a little consolidation here at the balance of this week. Keep the volatility going, keep the traders happy, but mostly consolidation before maybe perhaps a little dip down to 85. Grab that last liquidity that's down there, and then shooting off to all-time highs next week. Okay, maybe not all-time highs, but just a little next week to finish the month on a higher note, and perhaps maybe even get close to the monthly open. That would be great. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, as always, my name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking here in the digital media world. The man in the box next to me, Mr. Pedro Garcia, the crypto chart analyst. Thank you very much for your time today in the Technical Tuesday analysis of stuff. Pedro will be with us probably tomorrow in the first half of the show for a little bit, and I will be with you for the whole show. So that means all of you need to be there, right, ladies and gentlemen? So thanks to Crypto Mike, Baby Draco, Dara over in Spain, Space Cat, everybody that joined us and commented today. I really appreciate the time and effort you spend to follow us. It makes a big deal. We had a good crowd today, and hopefully we'll have a good crowd tomorrow. So see you there. Be there.